Hello again everybody and welcome to this video. I've been wanting to jump back into watercolour for a while now, and this fish has been kind of perfect for that. It was a very quick painting, it took me about 2 weeks, and I say quick because sometimes I could spend about 3 months on one piece of artwork before I finish it. Now originally I was only going to use my watercolour pencils for the entire piece because I've been itching to use them, and I was curious to see if I could actually finish a full piece of artwork by just using them. So I started by laying down all the base tones, by shading in the whole thing, all my colours where I wanted them to be, and then with a wet brush obviously I just started spraying and mixing them together. Pencils I'm using are Derwent watercolour pencils, and they are extremely vibrant pencils, and when you add water they just spread like butter across the page. And the problem I was having with them was that I was trying using the same ways I would use watercolour paint, and there's certain techniques that I would use that wasn't really working with the pencils, like lifting paint away to make highlights, so I'd have to take that in consideration if I ever used them into the future. This unfortunately made me feel like the pencils didn't really reach the intense values that I wanted, or at least I would have to go over and over and over to reach the values that I did actually want. Because of this I decided to change my tactics a little bit and add some acrylic on top of the watercolour, and once I started getting them high levels of contrast and values, I decided it was a really good idea. After the scales were pretty much finished, I grabbed my watercolour pans because I was determined to keep this painting as watercolour-esque as I possibly could. It didn't take me too long to realise that I was running into the same trouble as I did with the fish's head. I just couldn't lift that watercolour pencil off to create the highlights that I wanted, so I had to use white acrylic, blue acrylic to create the highlights that I wanted. But as you can see from the top fin, it's really created a unique look. You've still got the watercolour feel, but with the really sharp highlights of the acrylic. I added a background quite early on in this painting, and that's because I wanted to see if a darker background would be better over a lighter background. And in the end I settled on like a paint grey, blue black look, and I think I even added some violet in there as well. Started to add the white acrylic over the top of the watercolour and the fins, and it really helped the watercolour to stand out a lot more than I thought it would, especially after I started adding like a deep purple watercolour on top of the acrylic. And I use this method all the way down the side of the fin, shaping it as I went. When I got to the bottom fin, I decided to change my colours up a bit, and I went for the alizarin crimson because I thought I've already used every single other colour that I've got in this fish, so why not try that one as well. And I really love how beautiful them fins look on the side of his head after I started detailing him with the purple watercolour. To me they really are the best parts of the entire painting. Okay then guys, this is my Siamese fighter finally finished. and it's actually been quite nice not painting something for 3 months until it's eventually done. It's all Cotman Watercolour, and then I've added acrylic on top, and then I've gone back over watercolour again to get these kind of like these hues. The scales are acrylic, so it's like white acrylic and then a light blue acrylic, and then I think I put some purple in as well. I want to do it up here as well with some of the like pink and reds. The pad I've been using is a Winsor Newton watercolour block. It's been quite good. I mean, there's been no bone in the paper or anything. I've never used a watercolour block pad before, so I'm definitely getting used to getting. The paper is actually a textured paper, so that's why you can see like these patterns. The idea of this in the first place was to use me Derwent like crayons, well the watercolour crayons, but I just kept feeling like I wanted to go grab my pans because they're so different at the same time. I mean, they're nice, they spread, they've got really vibrant colours, but there's certain things you can do with watercolour where you can't do with them, like lifting the paint off. And I think it's because it's a pencil, it kind of grinds it into the paper more and you can't lift it off, and that was bugging me, because that's what I was going to do here with the scales and stuff. The scales were going to be totally different. I was going to like put the paint down and lift it off, and then you get like really white scales, and then you go off into the other colours and everything. That's what I was going to do, and I couldn't do it when I put the pencil colour in. Just couldn't lift it off, so I switched my tactics and decided to go with some watercolour and acrylic. We all know we can't get this colour arrangement on a fighter fish in nature, but in my opinion, from the moment you put your first blob of paint on a page, you've got an artistic license to do whatever the hell you want to do. So that's what I did. I picked my own colours. I've kept a few fish in my time, well, betta fish, and I could give them alive because I didn't know what I was doing. I kind of just chucked them in a big community tank, which is the biggest mistake you can make. But you know, I can show you a video of the tank I've got right now. It's a new tank, so it's, you know, all the plants still growing now. It hasn't been going that long, probably a couple of months. And you can see everything's thriving, it's doing nice. There's a bit of algae in there, but it'll clear up. The moss is growing at the back. My cryptos in the front. And I've got my fish begging for food like usual. And you know, here's a few pictures of my old tanks that used to have, my big jungle tank that I had to get rid of. But you didn't come to see my aquarium, you came here to see my artwork, so this is my betta fish. I hope you like it. Thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe.